Good morning, Mets fans, and welcome to a Monday edition of Driving with Mr. Met. I am Mr. Met, and it's been a week since I've recorded a video. Wasn't planning on having this much of a gap between recordings, but such is life. I had a busy week last night and wasn't able to get anything recorded. So I'm back a week later, and I want to talk about what's happened in the last 7 days, maybe perhaps more importantly what hasn't happened, and I want to talk about where we go from here, because I don't know about you, but I'm getting tired of watching this team. When I recorded my last video last Monday, I made a prediction about the team and their future, and their fortunes rather. And I sort of suggested that the Father's Day miracle, the come from behind win against the Diamondbacks, was going to propel the Mets onto a winning streak. And I sort of jokingly, but not really, I actually believed it, sort of jokingly said that they're going to pull off like a 2002 Moneyball A's run, like a 20-game win streak or something. So that was my prediction. And I was, what's the word? Oh, wrong. I was wrong. I was so wrong. This team hasn't changed at all. Every time the team seems to take a step in the right direction, something happens to turn it in the wrong direction almost immediately. And, it's just becoming difficult to watch every single day. And I'm getting tired of talking about it every single day, because it's like a broken record. Yesterday the Mets played the Dodgers, and the Mets were able to score 7 runs at home, mind you. And of course they lost because Justin Turner. But the Mets pitching gave up 7 solo home runs. 7. That's more than any Mets pitching staff has given up at Citi Field in a single game in the history of the stadium. Now, it's only 9 years, but it really is a microcosm of this season, of how when one thing is going right, something else goes terribly wrong. Jerry Blevins was forced to start yesterday, and he started in place of Jason Vargas. And after the first inning, the Mets found themselves behind 2-0. Which, frankly, if Vargas were starting, it's probably where the Mets would have been anyway. but yesterday was just a mess, and it was a good representation of this season and what this season has been like to watch and to endure. And when things go bad, we always look for someone to blame, and I'm usually pretty quick to defend all parties, because my thought process is always, and especially when it comes to players, like, you can't get really mad at the players. It's not like they want to not be doing well. It's not like Jose Reyes wants to be slumping all year long. It's, these guys are professional athletes. They want to be doing well. It doesn't always work out that way, but I usually tend to defend the person against whom people are railing and bitching about. And I've reached a point where I'm going to stop doing that. And I'll tell you the tipping point. Yesterday I read an article by Mike Vaccaro from the New York Post, who really hit the nail on the head and drove it home for me, and places the blame for this season, and really for the last 8 seasons, squarely at the feet of Sandy Alderson, who has really, if you step back and look at it and think about it, I mean, all of these decisions that get made or don't get made, they have to be made by someone. And the personnel decisions and the team's inability to utilize the 10-day disabled list effectively, and to have extra arms available when they need them. Case in point, yesterday, in this article by Vaccaro, I understood that Jason Vargas hurt himself jogging on Wednesday in Denver. Denver is an hour away time-wise from Las Vegas. So if you've got a guy who's hurt, you put him on the DL, and you get somebody from Las Vegas who's an hour away to fly up to join the team in Colorado, and then fly home so that that person can make a start on Sunday. It isn't like Vargas hurt himself Saturday afternoon. That would be different. But once again, the Mets, and I feel wrong doing it, but Sandy Alderson feels like he's smarter than the system. And he's outsmarting it, and he's not. And I'm starting to open my eyes to this a little bit more. And it bugs me because I try to be positive, but outside of a 2-month stretch in 2015, after which the Mets acquired Yoenis Cespedes, or after they acquired Yoenis Cespedes, I should say, those are really the only two, like, holy crap dominant months that this franchise has put up in an 8-year period. 9-year period. 10, hell, since 2008, really. It's been a joke. And the joke's on us. Because we're the customers. We're the fans who have to endure this nonsense. And I've now reached a point where I'm ready to blow this whole team up. Blow it all up. Everybody. The only exception for me is Jacob deGrom. I'd like to hold on to Noah Syndergaard too. And I think we've seen enough from Brandon Nimmo that we can't be getting rid of Brandon Nimmo either. Other than that, everybody else on this team should be for sale. And I don't even care if it means we're not going to compete for 4 years, because let's open our eyes and realize the fact that, again, outside of that little stretch in 2015 and that run that we made to the playoffs and to the World Series, we have not competed. We've been sold a bill of goods at the start of every year that we're going to compete, and I bite into it hook, line, and sinker. I take the bait. I was so confident this year. I was confident last year about the depth that the team had. And what did it mean? It meant nothing, because they've done shit. The same things happen over and over and over again. Guys get hurt. The wrong guys get signed. The wrong guys get released. You know, it's a player development thing. It's a personnel thing. It's a decision-making process that gets made at the management level. And everything else that happens after that, it trickles down. You know, the manager of a baseball team is a middle manager. He doesn't make the decisions. He doesn't set the goals for the team. That happens at the tippy top. That happens with ownership. That happens with the general manager. And those decisions and those preferences get trickled down through the ranks. And Mickey Callaway, hell, insert name here. It doesn't matter who the manager is. That person's going to have to follow those edicts, or they're going to be looking for another job. I'm ready, officially, to throw in the towel, to say goodbye to Michael Conforto, to say goodbye to Dominic Smith, to say goodbye to Ahmed Rosario. I do not care at this point. I am so tired of this team not being able to do anything right. I want a new general manager, a young general manager, who can make moves that teams like the Braves have made, that teams like the Dodgers have made. You know, Vaccaro points out in his article, and he's so right, the Dodgers have dealt with as many injuries as the Mets have. The difference is that they're able to actually find quality players to fill in the blanks. The Mets can't find a quality player if they had the farm systems of every major league team available to them. The Mets would figure out a way to mess that up. I'm clearly upset, but I've had enough. I've had enough, and I'd love to hear what you guys think. Am I crazy? Am I crazy? Not for saying what I'm saying, but for getting to this point now instead of a long time ago. I think I am. But I think that the optimism and the positivity for me is finally going to stop, because I just can't stomach it anymore. That being said, I will be going to see the Mets a few times this summer, like an idiot, thinking that being there will make it different or fun. But it is always fun to go to the games, at the very least. And the Seven Line Army is always a good time, too. So that'll wrap it up for today. I will probably be back tomorrow to recap the opening game of the Mets-Pirates series tonight. That's the one thing about baseball, man. It's one of those things where you can swear it off, and the next day comes and it's like, oh, let's watch. I can't not watch. So as much as I'm going to say that I'm boycotting and giving up and wanting change and whatnot, it's not going to change a thing about how I feel about the team and how I feel about watching them and loving the game. I think you can do both. So anyhow, thanks for watching. It's appreciated. Follow me on Twitter at Mr_Met. And as always, let's go Mets.